all good to go tonight, Sheldon? Justin?
Hall's good to go. Muzzin's good to go, yes.
What stands out to you about the Rangers?
They're different. That's new and nice, but they're a good team that's got a nice balance of established and veteran NHL players, but also young guys that are very talented and skilled. So that's really what stands out. It's early going, obviously, in the season, so you don't have a great sample in terms of watching them and their identity and stuff like that coming out. But you can definitely see things that George brought over, from that he had in place in Vegas as well. So you see some of those similarities and how that's fitting in with their group.
Is that a trademark of a Gerard Gallant coach team?
I think forecheck and pressure is a big part of it. Attacking the net. And those are the things that stand out to me that I see in terms of differences in style from the Rangers teams that I've coached against in the past.
How much more preparation, Sheldon, is there for you and the staff this year when you get to some of these teams you haven't seen in 2 years?
Yeah, there's a lot more for sure, just because you're familiarizing yourself, and as I spoke up a little bit about yesterday, it's not just not just the fact you're having to break down and prepare when the game's coming, but a lot of times you're just watching games throughout the season, and last season was a different animal for me, at least. I spent a lot less time watching teams outside of our division, just because you always felt as though you're preparing for a team you're going to see. So if you're watching a game, for me, it was the Canadian teams. So yeah, there's since the last time I coached against the Rangers, there's a different coach and many different players, and then you're just kind of reconnecting with the strengths of their top players and how they score, how they produce offense, those kind of things. So there's more time that goes into it for sure, but I think it's a welcome change, for our staff to be able to delegate those type of things and give them different projects to look at. And it's, we're, as it is, when you get a schedule that's back to somewhat normal here now, you're always looking down the line, you're getting ahead of it and all those kind of things for the teams that are coming, and you disperse the assignments amongst the staff. So you got different conversations happening about different teams, and we're already looking at San Jose and Pittsburgh and Carolina, and you're already sort of working at those things behind the scenes.
In terms of bringing Austin back, what's the trickle effect on the rest of the lineup, having him up top there?
Well, it just makes us a deeper team. That's the biggest thing that I like. Playing without he and Mikheyev. Obviously, it changes our group a lot, but we thought our guys have done a good job in their absences. But having Austin back here today, everybody slots in a little bit different. And obviously, we're moving our lines around a little bit here today with Pierre and Kerfoot, moving around. So that changes things up a little bit there. But we talked about this morning, really, the challenge for us, or the opportunity, I guess, more to say, is just for us to just continue to be and do the things that we were doing. We can't change anything with Austin coming back in. We know what he means to our team, and we know we're a better team with his presence there. But the individuals and the groups and how we play and what we're asking our team to do doesn't change no matter who is in or out.
How much are you looking forward to having all the facets of your power play together, you and Spencer?
Yeah, of course we're excited about that. That's been the one area, of course, we want to improve in greatly. Looking back to last season, and it's been increased challenge to do so with not having the preseason games and even having very minimal practice reps with Austin's presence. We've tried to sort of mimic it and try to keep the handedness of the players there. Mikheyev as a left shot played a lot in that spot and tried to mimic that, but it's of course not quite the same. But we're anxious to get it together here today and build from there.
You're a team that's increasingly veteran, expects to win, expects to contend. Typically, those teams don't have a lot of space or sometimes even the time to bring a rookie along. What's to say about Rasmus that he's going to be trusted at this level to get a regular shift and contribute the way he has?
Yeah, I think it speaks to his talent, his maturity that I think we've spoken of. That's beyond his years. And that's from the time he came in when I coached him with the Marlies as an 18-year-old, he stepped right in, fresh out of junior hockey at 18, and was running our power play and looked like he played in the league, a real long time. And you see that here now as well. I agree that, as you're a more competitive team, it becomes harder for younger players to come in. But at the same time, that's the greatest challenge as an organization, is to, of course, draft or sign, good players, good young players that can come in and develop them quickly, so that they can, as we know, the salary cap, especially in the flat cap world, makes it even harder. So when you get these young guys to come in and contribute, it's very important. So, that was something we're mindful of, certainly with Rasmus, but also as we look at Timothy Liljegren, we think, giving him an opportunity to blossom at this level is important as well.
Is he sit tonight, Timothy?
I'm sorry?
Timothy back out tonight?
Yeah, he's out, yeah.
Austin's first game, but he's had quite a few practices with Nick and Mitch. What have you made of them together when you've seen them on the ice in that setting, and the potential you see for them moving forward here now?
Yeah, I see great potential, and they have looked very good when they've played together. Of course, we know the chemistry that Austin and Mitch have. I expect that to be evident right away. In terms of Nick in the game setting, practice is one thing, but in the games and reading off of each other and playing more 5-on-5. I mean, you don't play a great deal of 5-on-5 in practice settings all the time, so it'll be a little bit different there. But I'm just like the power play. I'm anxious to see that group that I've kind of had in my mind all off season and stuff to work together, and we'll see how that plays out here tonight.
What have you thought of Richie's game through these first 3 years?
I've thought that he hasn't scored, or he hasn't generated the offensive chances that I know he would like to, that I think he will. And I think you look at the second game, it's been hard pressed to find anyone that played very well out in Ottawa. And so looking at the 2 home games here, and when I went back, I looked at it, Nick's a player, of course, it's really important to us, and is one that I'm trying to get as familiar as I can with. And it's one thing to watch him in another jersey with different team and different system and structure and all that, but when he's in our system and structure, we're working on different things that I'm looking at. He's a guy I'm watching very closely, and I think we can take some real steps in his game offensively, but at the same time, I think he's done a lot of very underrated things that have gone unnoticed. When he gets the puck for a big guy, very often the next play is going into one of our sticks. That is an underrated but extremely important piece to play with good players. If the puck comes to your stick and then the play dies and goes to the opposition, that's not a very good quality to play with good players. He consistently is moving the chains and giving it to the good players and getting into good spots. I think there's great potential for that line to be great, and I think Nick's got great potential there. And inside of that, I think he had 6 hits the other night. He's making himself his presence felt in terms of that sense. So I've seen good things there, and any discussion I've had with him, he's been all in, he's asking questions, and we've been really impressed with him that way.